Welcome back. As told to you, the third video of the seventh module will explain Blocher's developmental counseling. At the end of this video, you will be able to apprehend Blocher's developmental counseling and identify the task pertinent to the primary, middle, and high school students. Understand the developmental counseling goals and strategies specific to the school students. Blocher's recommendation on the process and role of counselors. Donald H. Blocher was a distinguished scholar and educator in counseling psychology. He has written many books on counseling psychology and professional counseling. His recommendations on counseling in his book by the title Counseling, a Developmental Approach are listed to you. The first one is counseling should have developmental focus. Primary attention on human development and life stages should be given, and it is detailed in the concepts of social roles, developmental tasks, and coping behaviors. The second recommendation is that counseling should have its focus on human effectiveness, on what an individual will turn out to be. The highest potential of a human has to be determined. The third recommendation is that the counselors are or should be a behavioral scientist and a catalyst, apart from helping the development of clients through counseling. The counselor should play the role of innovators of constructive change processes in the family, institutions, and cultural milieu in which the client develops. Blocher asserted several concepts on developmental counseling. As shown to you, the first concept is that the mutual reciprocal action between an individual and his or her environment result in the behavior and experience of that individual, nor the environment cannot contribute independently. His perspective was completely ecological, interactional, or person and environment fit. The second assertion is that a counselor or an educator should take the developmental perspective in his or her work. According to him, the goal of the counseling is to support and enhance development and to facilitate growth by removing the hindrances within the individual and the environment. The framework of counseling is to consist of the developmental aspect rather than the pathological aspects. The third assertion is that the state of being interlinked with each other among humans and their social and physical environment should be considered. Developmental counseling is a systematic approach to case conceptualization and interventions according to the individual needs, concerns, and problems. Now let us look into the Blocher's theory of developmental counseling. Blocher based his developmental counseling on Havighurst developmental task theories and theories of Erikson's psychosocial stages. His model postulates that each stage has its own set of developmental tasks and that each individual should cultivate coping skills to overcome the challenges to move forward to the next task. As a support, counseling goals and strategies should be designed in a way that they help the individuals cultivate adequate coping skills. Let us see how the process of counseling can be based on the developmental stages, namely at the primary, middle, and high school level. How it can be at the primary level. Blocher theorized that the developmental task of initiative versus guilt and industry versus inferiority are to be confronted by primary school children. The children can be facilitated through counseling goals that make them perform activities independently and feel skilled while competing with their age group. Counselor's role can contribute to cultivating both industry and initiative by making the child respect self and feel in control over the environment. Strategies of counseling should be designed to encourage the child in developing the self-concept. What about the middle school stage? Developmental counseling concept can be applied to middle school students as well. One of the major and important developmental tasks faced by middle school students is identity formation. Counseling goals can focus on bringing better awareness about oneself related to their own abilities, interests, values, motivation, and aspirations. Individual and group sessions can be used to foster the developmental task in the students. And now on to the high school. Similarly, intimacy is a developmental task faced by high school students. To accomplish this task, the student needs to cultivate skills required to form close, trusting relationship with parents, siblings, peers, and others. The counseling goals related to this task has to focus on promoting concerns and interest in others and developing interpersonal relationship skills. This goal, involving the improvement of interpersonal effectiveness, can be better promoted through providing social skills training to the students through group counseling. And how can this Blocher's developmental counseling can be applied to school counselors? School age is an important period when the students meet critical developmental tasks, handling of which will have long-lasting effect in the student's life. Parents, educators, and counselors can make a significant contribution in helping the students to master this task. So the counselors need to work in collaboration with these people in helping the students. The school counselor has to provide an integrated program that includes education, prevention, and intervention based on the developmental stages and tasks. The focus has to be on early identification and intervention to remove the hindrances and develop the necessary skills. The counselor should have good knowledge over developmental tasks and developmental stages, and they should be trained in skill development and should be able to design and implement a program addressing the wholesome perspective developmental needs of the students, so that they can help the students to grow into a personally and socially well-adjusted adult. Also, such a program should be based on the individual need. So, either individual counseling or group counseling or both can be adopted. Havighurst developmental task theory provides valuable guidelines to understand the challenges that a child faces during each stage. Developmental tasks often occur again as if in a spiral process. When a child accomplishes them in a naturally presented order at the right time along the lifespan, the child will prepare adequately to master the subsequent and increasingly difficult developmental task. On carefully observing the particular developmental task that a student accomplishes, the counselor can deduce which of the subsequent tasks that the student will be able to handle with ease. At the same time, Blocher emphasizes on developmental tasks and its related counseling goals and strategies as they are useful in providing a focus for school counseling. But at the same time, counselors should not limit their intervention to these task goals and strategies, as there are many other challenges that the school students confront apart from these tasks, like drug and alcohol abuse, teenage pregnancy, diverse parents, etc. Comprehensive developmental guidance and counseling are needed to help these students. So thank you. Meet you sometime later. Bye.